Hello everyone and welcome to the Bearded Geeks, the weekly grab bag of topics covering movies, comics, video games and TV. My name is Jages, I am the Beard Master. With me today, Iona Colville's back and it's motherfucking Jake Baylis!
Like how I got such a less enthusiastic welcome and
Jake
introduction.
gets the best intro all the time because he's got the handle.
I bring in the views, the people, they love me. Like, you should check the Facebook, the YouTube comments, they're all like, hashtag bring back Baylis.
Hashtag where's the Baylis?
Exactly. I am bringing in 10s to 15s of people daily.
It's just that name where it's like, you can imagine like, a guy's on stage and MC's like, and give it up for Jake Baylis!
Except he introduces himself on stage.
It's all commedia.
Ooh, run a while, brother.
Jake, I'm going to talk to you first because it's been the longest since I've seen you. We did a Dragon Ball show.
We did.
Which was really good. I got shit about it. I don't know if you heard about that.
You got shit? What?
I got shit about our Dragon Ball facts.
Why?
My brother was giving me shit from Africa. Because he's in Africa working, he's messaging me. He's like, "Yeah, this thing you said was wrong," and I'm like, "Hang on a minute."
You were like, do you ever go at everything I said? Like, was I right? Or
I
was
think
it just you?
I think there was like one or two things. It was like we were discussing a one thing, and then we worked out what it was eventually. We're like, "What's that thing? It's kind of," and you're like, "No, I think it's," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's right." And then we worked it out by the end. So none of our facts were wrong. They just started off. We were a little unsure, but we got there in the end.
Yeah.
So again, Corey, you can get fucked.
Yeah, fuck you, Corey.
He's a good guy. He likes Dragon Ball a lot.
Yeah, good on you, Corey.
Iona,
So
how are
fuck you, Corey.
you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking, Brent, and
Nice
yourself.
overalls. I'm really good. Thank you.
Nice overalls. Because Brent has a problem with yoga pants.
That's one of my pet peeves. Do girls like to wear overalls? I see girls wearing overalls all the time. It must be a trend that's come back.
I don't follow trends, so I don't know. Maybe.
You're above trends.
I'm above trends, but I'm a trend setter, just not a trend follower.
You don't really see guys wearing overalls now, unless they're obviously, farmers and stuff.
Mechanics.
back.
Or old men.
Yeah, yeah. Do we have to earn it? Do we have to reach a certain age, do a certain thing?
They come out from under a car bonnet and they're wiping their hands with an oily rag and they're wearing overalls.
Yeah, it's like, here, these are yours now, and you just have a pair of overalls forever. But women can just wear them whenever they want. I think it's unfair. We have to get to level 35 to wear.
They do that thing where they wear one of the clips in front's undone and one part hangs down and they look like a toddler, wearing overalls.
Don't call
your
me
parents
out
were just too lazy to clip it up.
One of these was going to be undone, but then I did them up.
Are you serious? You are a trendsetter.
People are so disappointed this isn't a visual podcast. They're like, oh, she's going to have something undone, but...
They always get a picture at the end. Wink.
They wouldn't want a visual show because sometimes we don't get made up.
And
for
sometimes
shows.
I'm wearing yoga pants.
Sometimes she's wearing yoga pants because I got problems with people wearing activewear when they're not being active.
Can't believe you've only brought this up now after 2
I
months.
don't feel like it's a suitable form of dress if you're not working
Yeah,
out.
you've never brought it up before.
I've never worn yoga pants or anything like that, or workout leggings or whatever you want to call them, activewear, and I'm sure they're super comfy for ladies and dudes maybe as well. I see dudes wearing those super tight bicycle shorts. And I'm like, that guy's not having kids anytime soon. So I don't feel like it's an acceptable form of dress when you're not being active.
Buy yourself the biggest pair of yoga pants.
Are you saying I'm fat?
No, I'm saying buy a comfy pair.
So you come in, I haven't seen you in 2.5 months, and you come in and you body shame me.
Alright, I'm leaving.
I'm disgusted.
At least you didn't suggest maternity pants. That's a plus, But that would be so comfy.
3X plus.
Do you know what's difficult? Okay, maybe this is not suitable, but it's very hard to know the difference between maternity bras and normal bras. I found that out the other day. But that's probably enough for this.
Iona's womanly fact of the day.
Yeah, the more you know. Big star goes.
They unclip from the front.
How's Russell? Do you guys see Russell more than I do? How's Russell?
He died.
What?
On stage.
Wow.
No, not really.
Did he get a big laugh or is it just from...
Oh, he got a big groan. He got a big groan the other day.
Yeah, he got... Technically, in Russell's world, he did fantastic. But in the world of, so many groans, Russell's going to be like, you don't find my jokes funny? He's like, I do, but I just like to groan, Russell. So does the crowd.
The masses don't.
He
find
feeds
them funny.
off it. He feeds off groans. Any negative reation to his jokes is good for him.
Yeah, it's like comedy fuel. Because
when
he's like,
in
that
here
was
with me.
shit. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna get a half groan next time, and then after that, I might get a chuckle. And moving up to the laughs.
It's like when he's in here with me and he's like making a joke that you laugh at and I groan at. He gains more power every time to make something.
He does do that too.
It kind of gives him experience, kind of like killing balls in like World of Warcraft and stuff. Just like each little tiny little bit. It may not be martial experience, but eventually levels him up to he's like level 40 Russell Dad.
He's like the slime in Ghostbusters 2. He's like, except instead of feeding on negative energy, he feeds on laughs.
Oh, if we put Russell in the toaster, he'd definitely start dancing.
Your love.
Pushing me higher. Can we say that without? Are we going to get taken off?
No, probably not, because
Copyright.
we'd probably have to sing it a little bit longer for YouTube algorithms to
It's
pick up on
15
it.
And better
seconds.
as well.
Yeah, better. Your love lifted me high.
You've got 15 seconds of it. That's the copyright.
Really?
Yeah, 15
That's as long as I
seconds
normally
of
go, so that's
bites.
fine.
Brum-tish.
Hey, the comedian's
Disgusting.
here.
That's cool. We can actually sing today because today Iona actually suggested this quite a while back and brought to my attention that Jake Baylis is actually a massive Disney fan.
It was our ladies podcast. That's when we brought it up.
You were the only lady here too. We were celebrating women.
We were celebrating women. And
That was a good episode.
And
I actually
brought up
really
Jake
enjoyed that
Baylis
episode.
for celebrating women.
Yeah, yeah, it's meant
You
to be
didn't want
part
to
of-
come to our lady episode.
I think I'm definitely not the best representation of women or ladies or exactly.
You're the hairiest lady I've ever seen.
But you're beautiful.
Aw,
You're beautiful.
I'm not hairy, but I'm beautiful, so that's a plus.
We're going to sing lots today because there are so many Disney songs that we're going to sing, and I expect Iona to sing a few bars of one of these songs
Oh man,
that
I
she's
can't
going to bring
wait.
up.
I love them. I have one already planned.
You love Disney movies? You're Disney obsessed-ish.
I'd say Jake's more obsessed. Like, he knows everything. I would just say I'm a basic fan who would watch them all like 10 times over my entire lifetime.
This is why we're such good friends, Jake, because I like your taste in popular culture.
I'm pretty good. I'm the kind of guy that listens to like Disney and stuff pretty much like maybe like once a day. I'll start my morning off like just I wake up, have my shower, check my phone. I need to listen to a few songs. Majority of the time it's either going to be some Aqua because Aqua is awesome.
Because you're a Barbie girl.
Yes,
In a Barbie world.
It's fantastic. Or it's going to be some Disney songs.
Disney soundtracks.
Or it's
Oh,
Red
yeah.
Dead Redemption 2.
Oh,
Why the fuck not?
Oh, yeah, that soundtrack is fantastic. Why in the world did that not win Game of the Year?
Boy.
It's amazing.
What one? I'm keeping up with things. Was it God
Game of the
War?
Year, God of War.
Yeah.
Which was-
So I did know things.
God
I
of
know
War.
some things.
Give it up for God of War.
No, why?
Give it up for God of War, Jake Baylis.
Ah.
Yeah, that's it. Come on.
Hey,
Round of
give
applause
it a
for
big
God of War.
clap.
Yeah, they
I
made
asked
lots
you
of
one,
money off
I
that
asked you
game.
one question though. Did God of War have horse balls that shrank in the snow?
No, but
Then why-
it didn't need it.
I didn't need it. Every game needs it.
Was
Red
God
Dead
of War-
Redemption was my number 2 of the year.
It was fantastic.
Was
It
number
was
2?
fantastic.
Did you?
Jeez.
It was my number 2. My top 3 games were
Yep.
God of War, Red Dead 2, and Spider-Man.
Your poor girlfriend. You must have such high standards. Was God of War open world? I don't know anything about the game except for Kratos and his young son, who's like, "Boah!" That's it. That's all the meme.
Boy.
Explorable sandbox area
Yeah.
that changes as you progress through the game.
Okay. I
More
see.
areas become open as you progress, and you can go back, and lots of backtracking. And
I hate that. Let me get killed in the highest level area at the start, and then I can learn my lesson from that after 10 times.
you're all about the Pokemon, though.
Yeah, but I'm also talking about like Legend of like Zelda with Breath of the
Oh,
Wild.
Breath of the Wild,
I
that's
like
right.
threw myself at 3 hearts at a Lionel and like got smashed instantly and died. It was very beautiful.
Before we start talking about Disney in depth, I heard a story about your Switch.
Oh, yeah,
Do you have a Switch today?
I do.
Is
But
it a
I've
new
had to-
one?
Oh, well, it's actually my sister's, but I had to. She's moved away, and so I got her Switch.
Because
Which I
you
would
threw
have
her out.
rather, which I would have rather had that martyred in the first place. So
Okay.
yeah, my Switch got broken by my niece.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Just a moment of
family.
silence.
Family, kids.
Yeah.
Don't want them.
F for respects, please.
See, so I'm so glad to be like a single child because I remember Russell telling the story of I think one of his brothers pissing on his
The pissy cartridge, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so like
This is the third time this has come back, the pissy cartridge.
it's a classic story now.
It is.
Yeah. It's like Joe Rogan talking about apes all the time. This seems to be the constant theme that goes
Or mountain
through.
lions, how he hates mountain lions, they scare him.
Or DMT because
Yeah. MDMA.
Yeah, so I've restarted all my Switch games, which is horrible because I was so far in all of them. Like, Legend of Zelda, I was about to beat Ganon, which would be cool, except... You can do that at any point of the game. We're not here to talk about Legend of Zelda or my Switch. It's a sore subject.
Cool. Can you get Disney games on the Switch? No, you can't. Kingdom Hearts 3 did just come out, though.
I
PlayStation?
cannot wait to play it. I haven't bought it yet, but I've been waiting for so long. Kingdom Hearts was actually the first game I got on my PlayStation when I bought it.
Nice.
So it's been a long time.
I really
Long
liked
journey
the
for
first
this.
Kingdom Hearts. I haven't played the second one. I wanted to replay the first one before the third one came out, but I haven't. And I don't have the third one, so I guess I could still do it, but I'm just not gonna.
Yeah. Well, that's the joys of having like the PlayStation Network and stuff, just rebuying and replaying sort of old sort of games. I've recently.
I'm so fucking broke.
Oh man, speaking of problems, like I've got a really bad back recently because I've been working so hard. I've just been sitting in my wallet and it's just so thick with money. It's just throwing my back
Curves
out.
your spine.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you shouldn't sit on your wallet because it gives your spine a bit of a
I
curve.
spent too much money. But like just going to the PlayStation Network, I've been wanting to buy SmackDown vs. Raw 2006.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, it played some of that GM mode.
Oh, baby. GM mode. Fuck yeah.
Bring that back.
You're speaking my language,
that's-
Jake Baylis.
That's like $29. I'm not trying to sell stuff on the PlayStation Network, but definitely get that.
I'm gonna get that. I think I still have it on the PS2 anyway.
Oh, damn you.
Let's just get the PS2 out and play that.
Oh, so do you want to be general manager of Raw or SmackDown?
Raw.
Oh, fine. I'll take SmackDown.
You can have SmackDown with the giant fist.
Oh, man. The fist was the best. I don't know why they removed it.
You could climb up on the fist and leap off it.
Do a big elbow drop.
Does everybody
Macho
remember
Man.
when this was a Disney-themed podcast?
We're just catching up because we haven't seen each other in so long.
No, I'm cool.
sorry.
I'll just sit here and listen. I'll be one of the audience members.
Jake, as a single child, did your folks buy you... Well, we've already established this. You pretty much got everything you ever wanted.
Pretty much.
Did you
Spoiled.
get lots of Disney stuff? Was it you the kid that, like... Because in our household, like, for Christmas, we'd each get our own presents, but then we got joint presents, and normally they were, like, board games that we could all share, and there were VHS tapes. A lot of the time, there were Disney flicks. Were you a child that got lots of Disney flicks on VHS?
Yes, I was. Also, like, a lot of my like cousins and stuff are roughly like the same age as me, if like 2 years older or 2 years younger as well. So if I sort of got like The Lion King or like Aladdin and stuff, they'd sort of get like a different, because like all the parents would sort of like collaborate, so we could sort of like tape swap, which was kind of like so even though I was a single child, I had so many other kids I could just watch movies from. Like,
See, that's the way to fucking do it.
yeah, my little cousin Elizabeth, her favorite film, and she had it on VHS, Pocahontas.
Ah,
Now, that is fantastic. I traded her for my version of Aladdin at the time. Swap backsies. But Pocahontas is fantastic. That's one of the most underrated sort of female-led early Disney films. Not like early, but like 90s early.
Do you remember what the first Disney movie you watched was? Do you recall? Or your first real kind of Disney experience?
I can remember having a copy on VHS of Dumbo back in the day. That's probably one of the first ones. I watched Cinderella as well, Beauty and the Beast. I had those, but the first one was probably Dumbo. Big elephant, held a feather. He could fly. He was amazing.
He had a mouse companion. Was he a rat? I can't
He's
remember.
a mouse. I
He's a
believe.
mouse.
kind of rats in Disney. They're the bad guys, Brent. Come
They
on.
are too. The Great Mouse Detective, the Rat-a-King, or whatever his name was.
Nasty.
Voiced by Vincent Price, I think.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
We'll get complaints from if we get
It was
wrong.
Peter Cushing. No, it
You
wasn't.
sure-
I'm
can't
pretty
believe-
sure it was Vincent Price.
Can't believe you didn't know that.
I do. I think I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure. These are the facts which we're 99% sure on, but we're not totally sure, but we're pretty sure that's what it is. Anyway, what about you, Iona? Because you world hopped a lot when you were younger, like Carmen Sandiego. Like, where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? Where on earth is Iona Colville? Did you have Disney as a traveling companion in your life?
Yeah, of course. I know the first Disney movie I watched. I don't
Fuck
remember
yeah.
it. and this might make you feel old, but that was Lilo and Stitch, and I was 4 years old.
I do feel old now, and I've never actually seen that movie.
But apparently I hated it so much we had to leave halfway through, which is ridiculous because it's my favorite movie now.
Really?
Yeah, I love Lilo and Stitch. But the first one I remember watching is definitely Cinderella in my grandma's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
That was probably on DVD.
Oh,
No, I had VHS. I watched the
Did
Land
you really?
Before Time.
You had hand-me-down VHS? Because Nans still have... I was around my Nan's house the other day, and I went out in the garage for one day, and she had like 3 VCR players, and I'm like, I'm going to get me one of those VCR players.
Do you know I've still got a VCR player connected to my TV now?
Do you really?
Yeah, no,
I've got lots of VHS tapes if you want to borrow some.
What kind?
Most from are horror and action movies. I do have some animated shows, though.
I can just find them online.
Oh, so fancy.
Okay.
Online stuff.
Online.
Thanks, Brent. Sorry.
Let me talk about... Can I talk about me?
Yeah,
No.
of course you can.
Cool, I'm going to talk about Disney. We had Dumbo as well. Dumbo freaked me out when I was a kid because of the scene where Dumbo gets drunk and he has the hallucinogenic pink elephant dance scene, and they've just got like those hollow black eyes.
It's
God.
like peak LSD moments.
Yeah, it's like it was fucking terrifying because, like I said to you at the start of the show, we had like in the 80s, Disney brought out like Disney Classic, like Gold Classics or whatever it was. The line was called. They were in like classic bubble VHS covers, and they had like gold covers and that, and just kind of like a cutout image of a character from the movie and that on there. So we had Dumbo. I think we had Pinocchio as well. Pinocchio. Mm-hmm. We had The Sword and the Stone.
Oh, that's good.
Robin Hood, which is actually one of my favorites.
Fox Robin Hood?
Yeah, Fox Robin Hood.
Don't talk to me about that.
And at the start, Robin Hood and Little John are walking through the forest, and that Oodalali. Yeah, that was a great song.
That's the second best Robin Hood of all time.
After Men in Tights or Prince of Thieves?
Men in Tights, obviously.
Men in Tights is pretty good, but I have a soft spot for Prince of Thieves because it's one of my mum's favourite movies, and we used to watch it together all the time when I was very young, and probably shouldn't have been watching movies like that. But I don't care because my parents were awesome because they let me watch Terminator 2 and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My parents let me watch Mortal Kombat, and it's the first time I ever swore, and I got in trouble for it.
Wow.
Yeah, Johnny Cage punches Goro in the nuts and says, it's like, it's just after Goro breaks Johnny's sunglasses.
It's like, those are $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Yeah, so after the movie, I ran up and just said that to my nan. And then
you punched her in the nuts.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, I did the splits, ran off. You know, they're like, well, that's impressive. We're going to ground him.
The more
That's
you
so
know.
Nice. I watched Werewolf in London at 7.
An American Werewolf in London.
American Werewolf in London. Yeah,
You got half the
fuck me
title,
up.
right? That's pretty
Well,
good.
good. That's how I do things.
So 7,
Oh.
that would have been like, what, 12, 13 years ago?
Speaking of...
8. Wait.
What?
God.
Who taught you math? Iona, how old are you?
God. 13 years ago, sorry.
Wow.
I can't believe I said that so, indignantly.
That was probably on DVD too.
8.
Yeah. The hilarious thing about Iona is, like, she does know a lot of stuff, but she does get the details, like, just slightly wrong. Like, has she told you of the Hanna-Barbera incident?
Yes.
Yeah, he knows.
Yes, we heard about that on the show. Yeah, that was very good. That was kind of cute, to
If
be
you
honest.
actually ever listen to any of my podcasts, it happens quite regularly on here. Everybody
That was on
expects
the.
it.
I think that was that was before the celebration of women.
It would have been like maybe the first or
Because I'm
second
pretty
one.
sure Russell was here and he made fun of you for
I
that.
think it happened in the first one.
Mm.
First podcast I did, I made a fool of myself, and it's just continued ever since then. Yeah.
Let's go back to Disney.
Yeah.
We keep getting off topic.
Well, we haven't seen each other in months.
We could have caught up before we started.
Well, we could have, but we didn't.
Yeah, it makes more, I don't know, fills out the podcast.
That's
It's just
shit
a couple
people
of
don't want to
fun-
listen to.
A couple of friends getting together, having a laugh, talking Disney, you know.
Because we actually are friends now, Jake.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember our Dragon Ball episode? That was our friendship making episode.
Yeah, you didn't give me a beer when I turned up.
Beer's
and
in
then-
the fucking fridge, Jake. I told you.
Yeah,
Just
but
go and grab one.
Do you really want, for me to go from here to the fridge? It's going to take 15 seconds. You're going to have 15 seconds of me not being on this podcast.
I'll
Can
just
you...
talk to
yeah.
Can
you
I
risk
can't.
Yeah, no,
losing-
fuck Iona.
I
Why
can't
bother
lose
talking to
those
her?
listeners, those up to 15 listeners for 15 seconds.
Exactly. My entire family listens to this when I'm on here.
Do they really?
No.
Oh, wow.
But that would have been about 15 people.
I wish they would. You should tell them to listen.
Osbrook.
Okay. More Disney. Iona, did you ever see any Disney flicks at the movies? Because I didn't.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking that too. That I have not seen any Disney. I think maybe I saw, and this is very late. I think I only saw Moana. Even then, actually, no, I didn't see Moana.
Moana was like 3 or 4 years ago. So.
Yeah, I know, but if that's the closest one I can think about, even considering having seen, I haven't seen any movie in the cinemas.
Wow. What about you, Jake? Did your folks ever take you to the cinema to see a Disney movie?
A couple of times. Most of my like Disney viewings and stuff were through VHS.
At home, yeah.
Yeah, but a few times. Lion King, went to go see, and also Hercules, I remember go seeing, which is cool because we got a large tub of popcorn, which came in like a big sort of like plastic container, and they made it sort of like look like a Greek urn. So it had like the Hercules sort of like carved into the side of it, and
that's very cool.
And you don't still have that?
Oh no, it was when I was living up in Toowoomba.
Oh, I see. What a lost treasure.
Hercules is a really good movie, actually.
Oh,
I was going to actually bring up Megara later, whenever it came up, necessarily. I guess now is the time.
Bring it up.
What a hot chick. What a cool heroine to have in a
Very
movie.
cool chick. Very sassy as well.
Oh, man. Did that not just I think that made my childhood. I was like, I'm going to be her when I'm older. Which didn't work out, but, you know.
She had like those very sharp angled hips. You know.
That swayed back and forth.
Yeah, that's the one.
I shouldn't have been paying that much attention to it.
Those come hither eyes, the flicky back hair. She's probably one of my early Disney princess crushes. She count as a princess?
I don't think so. No, because she probably wasn't in Wreck-It Ralph 2 in that Disney princess scene.
Oh gosh, yeah, no, I think I know all of the princesses who are in there. I don't know if I could list it off properly though. I forget some. Why did I brag about knowing how to, and then I was like, nah, I can't.
Okay, I'm going to quiz you about Disney princesses at the end of the show,
Just the
so
ones
be
in
ready.
Wreck-It Ralph, I might know them.
But yeah, Disney on VHS, like, they were the kind of things where you would just, because, you know, we're kids of the television generation, you know, growing up, well, Jake and myself growing up in the 90s, like, our parents just put us in front of the TV and let us, because we didn't want to go outside.
Yeah.
Unless, you know,
There's
we
the
had
sun
friends.
out there.
Yeah, it's the sun. Like, why would I go out and when I can, you know, watch Toy Story inside, like,
exactly.
over and over again? That's way better.
It's Saturday morning, Mum. Saturday morning Disney.
Oh my god, do they still have Saturday morning Disney?
No.
They don't, do they?
Kids are missing out. They don't have Cheese TV. They don't have Saturday morning Disney. Kids these days, I don't even know what they watch anymore. Like,
Okay, let's segue into Disney TV. What was some of your favourite Disney TV to watch? Because there was so much. There was like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. That was one. We had a couple of Chip and Dale tapes. You know, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I'm getting embarrassed because Iona's laughing at me. What about you, Jake? I've got the best Disney animated show ever written down here, but I want to hear what you say first.
Oh, that's a tough one. It's going to be like based off like the movies because, you know, when Disney have a successful like property, they market the hell out of it.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they?
Exactly. But I'm going to say the Hercules animated TV show. Second would be the Aladdin TV show that they had for a little bit as well.
I thought that was quite good, the Aladdin television show.
Yeah, but I just really like the Hercules one, especially because the Hercules Disney film is like one of my favorite ones. And the Greek mythology that they use there as well presented a lot of interesting sort of like cool sort of characters that they could fight every week, and just basic Hercules going to school.
And their animation and style in Hercules was different compared to what they'd done previously in that as well, which was very cool. Like I was saying, like very sharp, angled, like curves and whatever, and Hades with his flaming hair, which was awesome. James Woods.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about James Woods later on.
I really like gummy bears growing up. You've never seen gummy bears?
Flying in and there and everywhere. Yeah.
And they had gummy berry juice, which made them bounce.
Yeah, which is basically just sugar.
What was that based off? Was that based off a movie or just
No,
like
it was just
Disney
an
did?
original.
It's based off candy.
It's just this original.
So like Toy Story candy.
Disney television show, you know. Magic and mystery are part of the history, along with the secret of gummy berry juice. I'm not going to sing the whole thing, even though I know it. And then it goes, gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. It was like a medieval set show, and it was about these anthropomorphic bears that lived in the forest. And there was like this Sheriff of Nottingham type bad guy dude who wanted to capture the gummy bear so he could find out the secret of gummy berry juice. And when they drank it, it literally just made them bounce.
That
They
sounds
could
like
bounce
Smurfs.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's
But it's
basically
like
way
a milk
better than
going to find-
Smurfs. Like, fuck Smurfs.
That sounds
Gummy
like a
bears is
mix
way better.
Of so many movies and TV shows, and they just was like, we'll just make them into gummy bears. No one will know. Not to talk shit on your show.
No, it's a good show. It had one of the best Disney intros. I really like Darkwing Duck.
and DuckTales.
I started watching some of the
DuckTales.
new DuckTales.
Did you
Yeah.
watch the
There's
one where
new
Don
DuckTales?
Cheadle voices?
Yes,
I showed you that the
Donald
other
Duck.
day. Don Cheadle voicing Donald Duck.
There's this clip where
yeah.
Donald's on the boat and he's talking, he's doing it.
You're like,
no
"Here,
one can
swallow
understand
this."
him.
And
So
then-
he swallows it and then he sounds like Don Cheadle.
It was great. I
And
showed
it's
you
sick.
that.
Yeah, I remember.
I
now.
watched the first couple episodes because it's on Stan. They have like the first season on Stan. I watched the first couple episodes the other day. It's really fucking good. Like David Tennant does the voice of Scrooge McDuck.
David Tennant?
Yeah,
Boss.
yeah. The 12th Doctor, is that correct?
No.
No.
The 11th.
The 11th, sorry.
No. Yeah, maybe the 11th. Because
See, you don't know anything about Doctor Who either.
I do know Doctor Who, but I just can't remember.
Which Doctor was he then?
I think he was the 10th.
Was he the Disney Doctor?
Yes. Well,
Just wait. Just give it 5 years. Eventually, Disney will buy Doctor Who.
They'll own Doctor Who, yeah.
Yeah.
And
They'll own
they'll-
this podcast in 10.
There'll be like hidden Mickey Mouse logo on the TARDIS or
I'm
whatever.
sad, you guys. Maybe it was too past your time of watching kids' TV.
Oh, please.
Cusco's New School?
Yeah?
No.
Yeah, from Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove. The Tarzan TV show. That would have been in your time. Did you guys never watch that?
I didn't watch a lot
Tarzan.
of the Disney TV shows. I watched a bit of Aladdin because when we got All-Star, Aladdin and that was on there. And Saturday morning, if it was Disney on Saturday mornings or, whatever mornings, it was like Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite Disney animated show ever is Gargoyles. I just dropped a fucking truth bomb on Jake Baylis.
Fun fact, majority of the cast of Gargoyles, I believe, were actors in...
Star Trek?
Yes, exactly.
Jonathan Frakes did the voice of Xanatos, and I forget her actual name, but the actress who played Deanna Troi on Star Trek The Next Generation played Demona.
Yeah.
And Keith David did the voice of Goliath. And there were other people from Star Trek on that show, I think. I'm not sure. But that was a fucking sick show. Have you ever seen Gargoyles,
Nope.
Iona?
Nope.
Oh, you're missing out.
You are missing
The
out.
only
We
one
gotta get
you've talked about
Gargoyles.
that I know is Aladdin. I watched that and that's it. I know DuckTales obviously through reference and stuff like that, and I have seen bits of it, the new one. But also another new Disney TV show, Tangled.
Is that like CG show as well?
No,
it's an animated show.
animated. Yeah, they've changed the style for it. But Rapunzel, spoiler, gets back her hair. And it's before their wedding. Have you ever seen the Disney short where Eugene and Rapunzel are getting married?
No.
No, okay. So, this is the in-between that. It's really good. It's, I would say it's borderline, for children, as most animated shows.
Disney's
They're
for
from Disney now.
everyone.
Yeah, I know E for everyone, but, it's really good. It's very interesting, and Flynn Rider is as funny and charming as
Is it
always.
was it Mandy Moore who did the voice?
Yeah,
of...
and I think they still do it.
They came back for the
I
animated
think
series.
they've come back to do the animated series. It sounds to the point, and it looks really good, and it's been really engaging.
Because we had that in the 90s, like when we had the films and then they spun off into successful television series, we didn't get a lot of the same voice actors. I think we did for Aladdin. We got the guy who did the voice of Aladdin came back. I think Aladdin and Jasmine. And Gilbert Gottfried come back and did the voice of Iago. What am I even talking about? All my facts are incorrect.
These things
I
happen.
don't think Gilbert Gottfried came back for Iago, surely.
I'm
It
pretty
sounded
sure he
shit.
did, like on the animated series.
Because it's
Sure?
hard to replicate that voice.
Yeah.
Was he in the second movie? No.
Oh.
He was in all of them, I'm pretty sure.
Really? Because just
Maybe.
doesn't. I feel like from what I can remember, it didn't
No, I'm
sound
pretty
like
sure he's
him.
in all of them.
He's definitely in the second
Because
one.
it's that kind of voice that you don't mistake.
Yeah, you couldn't fake it.
You're like, that's not Gilbert Gottfried. You're like, yes, it is.
I didn't even know going back that they made a Tarzan animated TV series.
Oh, it's
that was,
great.
I never liked Tarzan. Out of all the it's not that catchy as a movie. Even as
Were
So
you
it's not
intimidated?
it's not visually stunning. The music's not that like catchy either.
What are you talking about? Who's the
Like-
one? Can you feel the boom, boom, boom?
Phil Collins.
Yeah, the Phil Collins. Wasn't Phil Collins in Tarzan?
Yeah, Phil Collins
Yeah,
did
what the
like
fuck are you talking about?
two or a couple of the songs in Tarzan.
and they were great. I can't remember them at all.
When we were growing up, like in the 90s, I saw, because I guess I'll go back a bit and talk a bit about the kind of the Disney Renaissance, because after Walt Disney died, there was talk that they may shut down the animation department, which they decided not to do, and so they persevered with making animated films. They did Aristocats, which was the last Disney animated film that Walt Disney approved.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went on and they did a few other films. But when they got to 1985, because a lot of Disney animators left, like Don Bluth left Disney, and he took a couple of animators with him because they weren't satisfied with how Disney animated was being treated since Walt Disney's passing. So he left and started his own animation studio, and they put out like An American Tail, The Secret of Nim, and The Land Before Time in 88. And so Disney had a bit of competition at the time, but in 1985 they released The Black Cauldron, which was the first ever PG Disney animated film, and it tanked.
Aww.
Because it was too dark. At the time, it was the most expensive animated film ever made, and other reasons that as well. I think it was kind of like it was set in the Dark Ages, and the villain was quite the Horned King was quite intimidating. It was voiced by John Hurt. I'd never actually seen it. It was a movie that I always wanted to watch, mainly because of like the whole Disney thing. Like, this was released in the 80s and it tanked, and Disney were pretty much about to go under, because once the Black Cauldron come out, they were pretty much almost dead set on shutting down the animation department. But then they decided to push on, and they put out, what was the next movie they put out? I think it was it the Great Mouse Detective, Basil the Great Mouse Detective? And then after that was The Little Mermaid.
Mm.
But yeah, they kind of had that competition with Don Bluth at the time, so, competition kind of bred creativity, and they managed to come out of it, and they moved into what people refer to as kind of the Disney Renaissance, where there were 10 films released in the late 80s and the 90s, which were, Little Mermaid, Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, and Tarzan. So those 10 films are kind of considered the Disney Renaissance period. And it did go like a long way to bringing Disney back, because they were in the darkest depths, but they managed to come back out of it. And I tried to find out like why, like what did Disney do to get them out of that pit? And at the time they had like a power shake-up, so like head CEOs and that were being switched around. And after the Black Cauldron, they took the Disney animators, they moved them out of like the cushy Burbank studios and stuck them in a warehouse in like the next suburb over in like a construction district or some shit like that, and pretty much had to make them like earn their jobs back, like kind of strip them of all the comfort and everything, and they were just there to do the work, to create a project and whatever. And they hired like a Broadway music duo. They're Howard Ashman and Alan Menken. They were like a Broadway like songwriting duo, and when they came, Disney decided to move back into fairy tales, so kind of go back to their roots, to like Snow White, kind of Cinderella, move back toward fairy tales. And Menken and Ashman kind of saw that they wanted to go back to like musical storytelling.
I see. So
like more like a Broadway musical, so to have a musical, but the songs were a storytelling device. So, and that was what a lot of people believe were kind of the upswing for Disney, because, I mean, what do you really think of when you think of Disney movies? It's the songs.
Yeah, catchy songs.
It's the catchy songs.
Lovable
And
sidekicks.
what are all those catchy songs? When did they come? Or it's all the Disney films from pretty much the 90s, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they had this massive upswing, and especially when they got to Beauty and the Beast, because Beauty and the Beast was the very first animated film to be nominated for a Best Picture award, back when they only had 5 nominations, 5 categories for those films. And it won some Oscars. I think Beauty Beast did win an Oscar or two. And then, they were just in the upswing. And then by the time they got to Aladdin, boom, they kind of just hit the ground running.
What do you think made Aladdin, like, as good as it is? Do you think, like, without Robin Williams, do you think it would have been as good?
I think in Aladdin's case, it was a lot of different elements that come together as one big whole. So Aladdin was straight after Beauty and the Beast. So after all the
hype sort of thing.
Yeah, after all the hype, because, Disney had kind of changed the way that they animated their films. So they created this system, which they abbreviated to CAPS, which comes to the Computer Animation Post-Production System, which Walt Disney Studios developed with a little studio called Pixar. Ooh. They developed this post-production where they could scan everything into a computer and they could do it all, and they could... it would lead to more creative control and being able to do things in Disney films that they'd never done before, which is like in the ballroom scene, that's like, when you think of Beauty and the Beast, that's the first shot you think of, like Belle and the Beast dancing in the ballroom, and you've got that sweeping camera shot and the whole background's like all computer generated and stuff, and they're just plain 2D animation over top. And it's this epic sweeping shot, And that's kind of the first thing I always think of when I think of Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, I think it was like culminative stuff. It was like the new technology, it was the upswing of the Disney films kind of riding on the success of Beauty and the Beast. It was definitely Robin Williams as well as the voice of Genie. I mean, just getting the guy into the sound booth to record and him just improving. So like probably most of the stuff that's in that movie, like he improved off those lines, and or like in the Prince Ali scene, the Prince Ali fabulous here, where he's being introduced and that, and then he jumps in as like the newscasters and that, and he's like, I love the feathers, he's on the mic like he's on TV and stuff, and kind of all that unscripted stuff, they would do like all the Robert De Niro impressions and that, where they're in the Cave of Wonders and he's like, did you rub my lamp? All that kind of stuff. And I think it's just all the stuff that kind of went together. So it was, that upswing. It was the new technology. It was the new look, we'd never seen animated films like this before, it was definitely the songs, it was the music, and it was the story in that as well, kind of going back to fairy tales and, new Disney princess in Jasmine, and just a lot of things,
sort of like taking what was old, making it modern, just adding all these new sort of things. I'll tell you what, I would hate to be one of the animators on Aladdin, having to deal with Robert Williams, with all like just trying to just put together everything that he's like improvising and stuff.
Yeah, just like, what are we going to use? What can we do? Like he did this today in the booth. What can we do with that? Okay, let's do coming up with new stuff. I don't know how long that film was in production, but it was probably like 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, Robert Williams' performance added an extra year to it, just for.
He skipped Return of Jafar though. He didn't do Return of Jafar, but he did come back for Aladdin and the 40 Thieves, which is actually a really good Disney straight-to-video
That's the
sequel.
one where his dad comes back?
It is, because his dad's...
By the way, spoilers.
Spoilers. His dad's the leader.
20 years.
Yeah. That was one Disney movie we had, which is actually really good, like one of the Disney sequels, like straight-to-video sequels, which was actually really good. That was one we watched heaps in my house.
I remember getting really excited when Return of Jafar came out on VHS. I was just like, oh my god, I didn't know this. Must have missed it out of the movies and stuff. Oh, I can't believe it. Watched it and I was like, it's kind of like the same feeling of being excited for Mortal Kombat and then watching Annihilation. Like, oh, I can't believe I missed this at the movies. And you realize, oh, there's a reason this wasn't at the movies.
It did go to the movies because I was outside the Devonport cinema and they had the poster there for Mortal Kombat Annihilation now showing.
I think the most surprising thing there is that there was entertainment in Devonport
back
then.
That was the old cinema too. That was before they had C-Max.
When they used to have like a candle and just some guy just bring up pictures. This is what's happening now.
You've got the orchestra in the back playing the music.
Yeah.
It's like one guy on like a one-man band. He's got like the drum and the tambourine and shit.
Everyone's turning up in suits for some reason.
But in the 90s, Disney brought out a movie like every year. So they didn't have like any like lulls. So pretty much every year we got a Disney movie. Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Hunchback, Hercules, Mulan, which I've never seen actually. Have you seen Mulan?
Yes,
Iona?
I love Mulan. It's
I've
great.
never seen it.
Good songs.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Eddie Murphy's in it.
Yeah, he played the dragon or
Mushu.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's great. I think it's a really good movie. I actually watched it the other day. It's on Stan. Why are you not watching
I'm
these
gonna watch it
movies?
now. I only watched Tarzan for the first time like probably 2 years ago,
God.
and I really fucking liked it. I thought it was great.
What's the evil guy's name in Milan? It's like Attila the Hun, but he's not.
But a bit more racist.
No.
Oof.
Hun the Hun.
He was terrifying though. He's this grey-skinned man,
And he's got, like, yellow eyes,
It's
yeah.
terrifying for a child to watch Mulan, and like,
He's got an evil hawk as well.
yeah, the hawk's evil, but there's no big battle between the hawk and Mushu. It sucks.
Did many Disney villains in the 90s have... Because I know we in Disney films, we always have, like, animal sidekicks, like
Yeah,
Abu and other Disney animals, which I can't think of right now. But
The
did
evil
many
witch-
villains have animals aside from Mulan?
The evil witch in
Oh, Jafar had Iago.
yeah, the evil. What's the in not Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty,
Maleficent.
Maleficent. She has a crow. As
Oh,
a
she does
thing.
too, yeah.
Hades has his two little
Demons.
yes.
But they kind of were sentient. Oh well, I guess
They can
Iago
turn
was
to
too.
animals.
I
so-
guess they would kind of be
It's
counted
just
as
like
like evil
sidekickies.
sidekicks,
You're right. I'm
yeah.
trying to think of like if any more had any, and it's
Who's the best animal sidekick in a Disney movie?
Oh, it has to be Iago.
oh Mushu.
I don't know. Oh,
Nah, I really like Abu.
Oh, Abu's cool.
And he's voiced by Frank Welker.
what about Sebastian? Sebastian the Crab.
Under the sea!
I'm going to speak really dirty in this song.
And he's got like a Jamaican accent,
Yeah, he's a
which is pretty boss for a crab.
yeah, wouldn't expect that. It's a tough. I'm thinking Sebastian maybe now. Sebastian was pretty, although he was very strict. Iago yelled a lot. Yeah, actually, no,
Although Beauty and the Beast, they didn't have any animal sidekicks because all the bloody staff or whatever staff who were all turned into bloody
All those
cutlery and
servants.
candlesticks and shit. Servants.
I'm pretty sure there was a footstool that became a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
cute.
Yeah.
So-
So they did the live action movie too, didn't they?
I never saw
Yes,
that.
they did.
The footstool turned back into a dog.
It
You're
was an
like,
actual
"Yeah, it's
dog
a
in this.
It's an actual dog.
Yeah, it was an actual dog in the animated one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
After
yeah.
arguing with myself, I've decided to go with your thing and go with Abu. He's a cool monkey.
Yeah, Abu's the best. Abu's the... What about you, Iona? Is it Mishu?
Oh.
Mushu?
Mushu's cool.
Just make
Like
me
it was. I mean, she had a little cricket too. The cricket was cute and more helpful and less detrimental than Mushu.
Jiminy
This was a-
Cricket?
No, it was a lucky cricket.
Oh,
that
I thought you were
Milan
talking
had.
about Dumbo.
No, Milan had a
No,
lucky
Dumbo's...
cricket.
Pinocchio's
Pinocchio.
Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, no, Milan had a little cricket with her as well. Who helped her? It was a lucky cricket,
Sweet.
and Mushu in it fought a lot. I don't know. I don't know. Mushu was cool. I guess that's fine. I mean, because I'm trying to think of like later, CGI animals, and the only one I can think of is Moana had a pig, and that was it, and that sucked. And it wasn't even in the whole like movie. Hasn't been very many good animal sidekicks.
Officer Hops isn't a sidekick. She's her own rabbit.
They're all animals. I think it makes it harder when you can't have like a different sidekick.
That must be like a favorite movie for furries.
Yeah, people loved it, but they all complained. Like, there were lots of furries who were like, I didn't see my first sonar in it. Like, it was like, I don't want to repeat it.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know those words.
Were there any movies you
Sure.
missed in the 90s, Jay? Because like I said, us kids growing up in the 90s, our parents pretty much gifted us with all these things, They kind of just... Disney was like a household thing, and it has been for a very long time. Like, I watched this documentary about Walt Disney today, and the amount of stuff that guy did, he was always doing, like, new things. Like, he came up with the idea for Disney World, like, on a Saturday when he took his kids to the park, and they were on the carousel, and he was watching them on the carousel, and he's like, there should be a place where parents can go with their kids to like a theme park environment and just hang out there all day.
For exorbitant prices.
He created Disney World. But the funny thing about Walt Disney is like they're talking on this documentary like all the things he did, like Snow White financed this movie, Disney World, and that like he pretty much put every penny he had into all these ideas that he had. Like they always paid dividends, which was lucky for him. But like when they was making Disney World, like, he remortgaged his house, like, 3 times or whatever. Like, every penny they had in the company was, like, going into all these things.
Damn.
Like, in the Second World War, they lost, like, 40% of their income from the kind of international markets, like when the Second World War happened. And then at that time, then they moved into, like, war propaganda films, like, to help with the war effort and stuff. And just, like, all these things he did, and just, like, the guy was incredibly lucky, because most of the things he did, he paid off. The guy was pretty much a genius. Had his finger in all the right pies at the right times.
And now how it pays off with buying Star Wars, buying Marvel.
That's a whole different story there.
We won't talk what they've done. But
compared to what Disney's become, compared to what Disney was, where it was kind of more like it felt more like a family company. Do
you think it's just because we've now all sort of like realized that like we've all sort of become what's the word? Just
cynical, jaded.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just like, as kids, we're just like, oh no, they're so great. But now we're just like, oh no, they're doing this for money, and we just see everything is like trying to get money,
like Disney live action movies.
Do you brought up Snow White? Do you want to know a fun fact about Snow White?
Please tell me a fun fact about Snow White.
So when they were doing the slides to try and do Snow White's makeup, to get a blush on her cheeks.
Yes.
They couldn't animate it correctly, so she looked like a clown with like big red cheeks. Till like a few girls from reception came in or something like that, because they obviously didn't do the animation and stuff like that. And they're like, why don't you put actual blush on the paper? So in the movie, she has actual makeup on the entire time.
There you go. I did not know that.
Yeah, isn't that a cool little fact?
Wow.
That was the only one I had to contribute.
Did you know at the time when Snow White came out, the Academy Awards, rewarded Walt Disney with Oscar for the film, but he got a regular Oscar, and then he got 7 little dwarf-sized Oscars to go with it as well.
That.
Oh, that's cool.
That was cool.
And they showed the clip in that from it as well, like the televised clip, and it was really good. Like he seemed like a really sweet guy.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about a bit of Disney, like Disney being in the upswing in the 90s, because that's kind of mainly what we're focusing on, because, like I say, Jake, we're kids of the 90s, really, and Disney was just like a household thing for us, Disney morning cartoons, what was it called? Saturday Disney. Is that right?
Saturday morning Disney.
Saturday morning Disney. I'm older than you, and I can still get that wrong.
That 101 Dalmatians cartoon.
Oh, yeah, I watched that.
I've never seen any 101 anything. The look of disgust on Jake's face just then, like, disgust and pity. Like, I feel sorry for you because you haven't seen that.
101 Dalmatians?
Yeah.
I know the song, Cruella de Vil.
Do you know how many Dalmatians are in that?
101.
Yeah.
Not to begin with. No, you don't know shit.
In the second one, there's 102, isn't there?
Yeah, but they're so
Maybe.
cute. Do you know what it's like to look at 102 doggos? It's like your heart will expand with happiness. It's like
if only
Grinch.
it was 101 cats. It would have been better.
Oh, that'd be the worst movie. That's
You just
all.
get
That all
possessed
hate
by
each
That
other.
house would smell so bad. Can we do some, like, lists? I'm going to throw some things at you, because you guys are slightly pre-prepared, but I'm going to throw some things at you.
Jake's getting his list out.
Jake's got his Disney trivia list, which he's been working on all day.
Yes.
We're going to come back a little bit, because I want to talk about the CG features moving into Disney CG, because they're all pretty good in that as well. They're great as well. Iona, we're going to talk about a couple. But what do you think is the greatest Disney animated film ever? A lot of people say, like, on a technical level, a lot of animators and that will say it's Pinocchio, because as a technical achievement, that film is pretty much perfect. It's pretty much
the
flawless.
blue fairy and the glow that they actually got emanating from her as she came through to make Pinocchio a real boy. That was amazing. That just visually came to me when you said that. And I was thinking, it's like, how would they do that? Like, because, it was like, the blue glow, you could see behind it and stuff like that. But she was like sparkling at the same time. That's amazing.
But yeah, like on a technical level and as like a film as a whole, they do say that Pinocchio is probably the best on the whole animated film that they've ever put out. Jake Baylis, what would you think is the greatest Disney animated film ever made? We're not talking the newer CG films. We're talking about classic animation films.
You see, that's a tough one because you got to look at sort of like the whole spectrum of is the movie entertaining? Sort of like what's the villain like, and exactly what does the movie look like? I would have to say, as much as I enjoy such films as like Hercules and Aladdin, to me it has to be The Lion King. Visually, it looks amazing. Like when the elk or
the wildebeest.
The wildebeest are running down and they kill Mufasa. Just the way that looks is great. Yeah, spoilers. Scar as a villain.
A very obvious villain.
A very obvious villain. And I've always just sort of thought, like, was he named Scar or was he just a nickname that stuck? But that's just a pedantic thing.
Jake, can I be honest with you? The other night I was going to rewatch The Lion King because I got a gift card for Christmas and I bought it on 4K, but I hadn't watched it and I was going to watch it the other night. And then when we decided to do the Disney show yesterday, I thought now's the perfect time to rewatch The Lion King. And I watched it last night on 4K and I haven't seen it in at least a decade, easy, probably longer. And I was sitting there and I was watching it and I remember every line and I'm sitting there and I'm pretty much reciting it to myself as I'm watching it or, in my head. And I was just watching it and I'm like, this movie is so fucking good. It is legit brilliant. Like, it is so
amazing.
It is so good. And then I was like, was Scar named Scar when he was born?
He was named Scar when he was born because his parents were assholes. It was confirmed or something that his name was Scar, yet he didn't get the scar until later.
Yeah. So you kind of like feel bad for Scar. He gets passed over, because eventually Simba's going to be the king of the lions. So you sort of feel bad for him, but also he does such horrendous things that you want Simba, the hero, to succeed, which kind of makes a lot better film. They've got a lot of interesting side characters with Timon and Pumbaa, Nala, Rafiki. We have some weird lion-on-lion lovemaking with some...
Do you see that, like, in the Can You Feel the Love Tonight scene, which is actually
she gives him that look.
It's a really nice scene, and she essentially, air quotes, kisses him, and then she gives him the fuck eyes real bad. Like, real bad.
Like, I need that dick now, sort of look.
You didn't have to say the D word, Jake, but we got the point.
God.
Well, I just want to make sure everyone...
But, like, being honest, though, like, she really gives him the look.
That is a song I'll smash out in the shower.
She's got the look. she had the look, for sure.
Yeah, I love that song.
Simba lost his virginity that day.
Yeah, can we like I'm surprised Disney got away with that. Like they pretty much imply that they, got jiggy with it. Get jiggy with it.
Like they do in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. Will Smith. So I'm surprised that actually, but looking back at it, like a lot of Disney films are like little hidden sort of adult sort of messages. Just look at Under the Sea.
Yeah, they do too. Under the Sea. There was in the Rescuers, there's a scene in, I think it was the first Rescuers? The Rescuers in the 70s? Was it
Never
in the 70s?
seen it.
Anyway, there's a scene in the Rescuers where they're flying through the city on the back of a dove or a pigeon or something like that, and all the buildings are flying past, and one of the animators put like a little half-second clip of like a topless woman in one of the windows, like a live action clip of a topless woman. It's like blink and you'll miss it, but you're like, it's like in Fight Club, like splicing in scenes of dicks in kids' movies. But yeah, there was that. There was like the Little Mermaid, like one of the animators was fired from the Little Mermaid, and before he went, there was like the cover art of like the home release, like the video release, and it had like the cast in the background.
Dick!
He changed one of the spires and drew it as very phallic.
We don't want to say dick.
You could say dick, but I'm just trying to clean it up a bit.
Apparently in the stars, when they're sweeping away from Mufasa to come down to talk to Simba, it's very allegedly, but you can, like, it spells out sex at one instant of the scene, like, very clearly. Yeah.
It actually does. Like,
it does.
Simba kind of flumps down and he rifles up all these feathers.
Goes in the air.
And for a half second, it forms the word sex. But I was watching it on the 4K release last night, and I think they've changed it. They've changed it just so it it almost does, but doesn't. It's like they cut.
They're like SFX.
And have they cut it? Have they cut it so the Grado shoots first?
What?
That's a Star Wars.
I know it's a Star Wars reference. Yeah, no. But yeah, they kind of cut that out. I'm pretty sure for that release. But yeah, that movie is fucking brilliant. I honestly think Because I said to you guys before we started, like, I don't think I've ever met a single person who said that The Lion King is a bad movie or they hate The Lion King. You know, I don't think I've ever talked to a general person who wasn't like a film critic or anything who said The Lion King is a bad movie.
how many good songs and how many good music scenes, that deviate slightly from the storyline that are so beautiful. Like,
I just can't wait to be
king. Oh my god.
When you look about it, he's singing about how he can't wait for his dad to die, which is kind of messed up, but still, very
a
catchy.
child.
But he
Yeah,
was
we
like
consider the
singing over like the
implications.
natural course of time, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Not like the next day.
Can't wait to be king when my dad dies tomorrow.
I think that film's just so well put together. It's everything. Like the scene where, Mufasa is lost in kind of the swarm of wildebeest and Simba's looking for him, and then he gets that big scene where and he jumps out and he grabs a cliff face and he's climbing up the cliff, and Simba's kind of running and he kind of goes around the side. You're like, no, Simba, you're not going to see what happens by running up there. And then it's just that epic swelling music when he's trying to climb and he says to Scar, he's like, help me,
brother.
Brother, help
He's
me.
like, long live the king, and then he throws him and it's fucked. I was doing so well in that scene last night. I'm like, and then Simba runs and he's like yells for help. And he's like, somebody, anybody. And then he turns around and he starts to cry. And then I was like, nah, that's it. It's got me.
And he
I was-
just lies down and cries under his paw.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Just wait till the live action one comes out later this year. You're going to be a fucking mess.
I know.
At least that looks
God.
better than Will Smith's genie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say just before, I was like, why hasn't Will Smith been in a Disney movie? And then I remembered the genie. I just remembered that bad screen grab of the genie, and I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Will this kill Will Smith's career?
Just a quick tangent.
No,
like,
the last 5 years has killed Will Smith's career.
why
True.
would you have to do... Like, why would you get Will Smith to play the genie, but make the genie look like Will Smith? Just have Will Smith's head, but it's blue.
Well-
Like, why couldn't you just create a genie-looking character, but just it have Will Smith's voice?
Because they
so
need-
you get that separation.
Because we need to let the public know that Will Smith is in it so they buy the movie.
That is so true.
If anything,
Yeah,
that's
because
deterred them.
Yeah,
Seeing it
now.
now.
Now it has, but the original idea was just like the public is stupid. Will they just go for the voice? No, we need to see his face.
That was like when Independence Day came out on the 4th of July, and it was such a huge financial success for like the next 10 or 12 years. All of Will Smith's movies came out on the 4th of July.
Huh.
That's true.
When did he start getting bad? Because I remember
What's
I
that
Am
movie he
Legend was
did-
good, but...
What's that movie he did with his son?
After Earth.
But that was an M. Night. Like,
But apparently Will Smith pretty much took the reins and directed that movie himself.
Oh,
Pretty
yikes.
much.
That's a big yikes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway, Disney.
Disney. I don't know, what do you think's the greatest Disney movie of all time? Like, the Disney animated movie. What do you think, honestly?
Y'all never talked about Bambi.
Because I've never seen it.
What the? Why? Why? What are you doing?
Because there are a
What
lot
are
of
you-
Disney movies that I haven't actually seen.
How?
Like, I haven't seen
I
Mulan.
wouldn't-
And everybody's
I
seen
wouldn't call
Mulan, except
Bambi
for
the
me.
best anyway, but I just brought it up that I was like, none of you spoke about Bambi. I don't know. The best one for me is, and I can't say that on personal preference, but I mean, if I had to choose the best one out of everything that you could rewatch over and over again, is The Lion King. But yeah. I mean, I don't want to just sound like I agree with Jake, because sometimes he's wrong, and I don't like him being right. So
Critical consensus says in the room
I think
that
it's
The
just-
Lion King
yeah,
is
it's
the
The
greatest
Lion
Disney
King.
animated film of all time. I think it's just great. And honestly, I'm jumping the gun here, but I'm getting to songs. The song at the start of The Lion King 2, I can't remember what it's called.
Is it the one with the? It's not with the.
He's here with you or whatever. Rafiki's there, and he's like, he sees Mufasa in the clouds. It's like right at the start of the movie. That's a really good song.
The second movie was really good.
It actually was. I agree with that too.
I'm going to try to remember...
Not the third one though.
Kimba, the White Lion? Was that before or after The Lion King?
That was very much before. Because Kimber the White Lion was in the 60s, I believe.
Jesus.
And it was kind of like, a lot of people say that The Lion King is pretty much just a ripoff of Kimber. In a lot of ways, there are like, even there are a lot of similar scenes. Matthew Broderick, when he signed up to do the voice of Simba, he thought he was just doing an American version of Kimber the White Lion, because he was familiar with that original Japanese. Was it a film? Or was it a show? I think it was a film.
Yeah, film.
It was a film. Yeah. But there's a lot of that too. You know, Disney films got like a lot of flack. There's a lot of controversy in a lot of Disney films over these. Like Pocahontas, for example, like the kind of representation of like Native Americans and even the song Savages as well.
Yeah,
like even though it's, you know, they're pretty much singing about both opposing forces, even like the English or the Americans and that as well. You know, they're savages in their own right, but then, you know, kind of stereotypical Native American savages in air quotes, which I'm not saying they are. I'm just prefacing the song. But,
Sure,
yeah.
Brent, tell us how you really feel.
No. I don't feel about anything. I only like Disney. I like all Disney. But I'm going to watch Mulan after this because I've never seen it.
Got to. The scene where
And
she
101
cuts her hair.
Dalmatians.
Yeah.
And 102
And Bambi.
Dalmatians. And Bambi. And Cinderella.
What?
No,
Oh
I've
my-
seen Cinderella.
oh, God.
Sleeping Beauty's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, the dress. I was watching I saw the original concept art they had for when she'd be in her blue and pink dress. They were going to make it white. They were just going to have her in a white dress. How controversial. Imagine if they'd done that and nobody ever saw the pink and blue changing dress, which was magical.
Girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, white dress. It seems very, I don't know, racy to me.
Yeah, they already did
Just
with
missing-
Cinderella. I can't have too much.
That'd be
of
the
that
worst thing.
Arian
The godmother
propaganda.
turns up, puts a hood on her as well. Just like, ta-da!
Did either of you guys see The Princess and the Frog?
Yes.
No.
Jake hasn't seen it. It's my favorite. Oh, I already said Lilo and Stitches. No,
It's your other favourite.
It's my other favorite, apart from Moana as well. Oh no, Moana wouldn't make it up there.
Is it Dr. Feliz or Veliz? He's the villain in
Yeah,
the.
I
He's
can't
kind.
really
He's kind of
remember
the voodoo.
But how good is the friend? I've got friends on the other side. Are you ready?
I've never seen it.
No, oh my god, none of you've. Oh
I want to watch it now, though.
Gotta watch
I'm gonna
it.
go on a Disney
Gotta
binge over the
watch it.
weekend
god,
and watch all these Disney movies I haven't watched. Jake
Brand,
Baylis.
you're so disappointing.
That's why I need you here so you can tell me how good this stuff is, so I can watch it.
Princess and the Frog was the last animated movie they did before they went to CGI.
They kind of did some CGI and then they went back and they did the Princess. It was
Oh, was
2009. Yeah, because they
that
did
was
like
the last
they
one. Then they went fully to CGI, didn't they?
they did like Dinosaur. Did they do Meet the Robinsons before that? They did Chicken Little.
Aren't they Pixar?
No, this was Walt Disney Animation Studios. I've kind of discounted Pixar because the Pixar is Pixar, but then Disney, they merged with and
Yeah.
they became Disney Pixar, and so I kind of count them as kind of an offshoot. We're kind of talking about the Walt Disney Animation
Because then we start
Studio
throwing
here.
in Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, well, they're all Pixar films and that, but yeah, we're kind of talking about... I guess we can move into, like, the CG films and that as well, because they've done a lot of CG films.
Hold on, I'm not done with
sorry.
the Princess
Oh,
and the
sorry.
Frog. What the hell?
Sorry.
Just pass by that movie. That's
Just
an
two men were talking, so we just thought, you know, to keep going.
Princess and the Frog was it's an underrated movie. That's what I have to say, is people didn't like it because it had a black heroine, and I'm not saying that was for everybody, you know, but there was big going like, why have you got that? Like, you know.
Why not?
Because
But that was 10 years ago now. Like, if that movie came out tomorrow, it would probably do a lot better.
It would be fine, but it did I don't think it did great. And, you know, like...
It got nominated for a few Oscars.
Yeah, but, like, you know, among audiences and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it was a quiet Disney movie that didn't get a lot of attention when it should have, because you had amazing characters, an amazing story, which you hadn't really heard before. New setting, I mean, you know, New Orleans with the voodoo, the swamps, like, being it back in, like, I can't remember, is it the 60s or the 70s it's
Maybe, like,
based in?
It's like the 1920s, 30s.
Yeah, so, like, you know, it's really good. I mean, it brings up, like, controversial topics like segregation and, like, all that kind of stuff, which you wouldn't really see in a Disney movie, which was part of the reason that it was, you know, like, people were against it. Like, you can't have that in a Disney movie? My children don't want to know about that. And
But then at the same time, it was kind of like, it did come out 10 years ago, so
Christ,
it
really?
came out 2009, so we'd already had, you know, 13 years of Pixar movies moving in and taking over. I mean, we had Toy Story, Bug's Life, you know, we had all these movies. Princess and the Frog came out the same year as Up. So I saw Up in the cinema, but I never went and saw The Princess and the Frog.
I went
which
and
I
saw
kind
that.
of feel bad about now because I really want to watch that movie.
What
And
a
like,
heartbreaking 15 minutes that is.
Oh, you have to wait till you see the Skeeter in I don't know if that's his name. I can't
are they
remember.
animal sidekicks?
Yeah,
Or
Tiana.
insect sidekicks.
Well, Tiana has two sidekicks actually: a Louis the alligator and the mosquito, who's got a beautiful storyline. He's like the sea storyline. It was great.
Cool.
Can't believe you haven't seen it. And
I'm
they
going to
have
have to watch it. If it's not on Stan, I'm going to go buy it. I'm going to go buy it, and I'm going to watch it.
I'm not sure it's on Stan. I don't think it is.
It's probably not. Because Stan did get like a lot of Disney movies in the last
But not
month
all
or
of
two.
them.
Not all of them, though.
Where's Ant-Man and the Wasp, by the way? I just
I'm
got
sure they'll
Ant-Man
get
on
it soon.
They only just got Ant-Man. I'll watch that
Okay,
today.
I'm sure it won't be far away.
I'm cancelling my my subscription.
I don't pay for my Stan subscription. My sister does, and I just use her account.
Disgusting.
Why? How is that? You get like infinite logins, so
Do
why
you
wouldn't
pay
you do it?
I only have the $5 one where only I can log in.
No.
Oh no, you should have more so other people can watch it for free.
Shut up, Iona. So the Princess and the Frog is actually legit good.
Yes, it's legit crazy good. I love it.
Okay, go watch the Princess and the Frog if you hadn't seen it.
Tiana
'cause-
and Prince Naveen, power couple. As frogs and as people.
Can we talk about...
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, you
We're
go.
gonna go.
You go, ladies first.
Okay, there was controversy with the Princess and the Frog, Princess and the Frog, because they went on about how it was the largely black cast for the first time, and then they get transformed into animals. So from either like audience
okay.
of like African American people and white people, there were complaints.
Kind of like the whole Fantastic Beasts movie. I'm paraphrasing.
Woman?
I'm paraphrasing heavily here, but
Nagiri?
Nagini.
the snake,
That's okay.
the snake that was in Harry Potter lore, and this is a prequel, so the snake shows up again, but
And
it
then,
actually turns into a person who
J.K. Rowling slams through the door. She's like, yeah, she was an Asian woman. I just told you this now. Enjoy.
transforms into an Asian woman, and it's
It's like, why?
Voldemort's bloody snake, so she's technically a slave, and you're like, wow, you're like.
Yikes.
You're like kind of delving
It's like,
really
did
deep
anybody
into this.
consider
Like,
whether that was her kink or not? Maybe she likes pet play, huh?
maybe. Disney CG movies have made a lot of money in the last 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
I saw Tangled. Tangled is legit fucking good. I didn't think it was
beautiful.
going to be any good. It was really good.
Don't you love Flynn Rider? I think everybody fell in love
Flynn's
with Flynn
pretty
Rider.
cool, actually. You kind of remind
And
me
Mandy
of Flynn a little
Moore.
bit, Jake.
Oh, thank you. I tried.
Just a little bit.
And Mandy Moore, she's perfect for Rapunzel. That beautiful, sweet voice and like
Very innocent as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the way she comes off. It was a great movie. I was actually going to say Mother Gothel was probably one of my top villains.
And the Mother Knows Best song.
God,
Yeah.
don't I relate to that one?
And just like hinting at like the hair through the whole song. Yeah. Very cool. My girl Elsa in Frozen.
I got in trouble, I think, because I watched Frozen online in the middle of the night, and I started singing Let It Go with the song, and my mum was like, shut up! She came in.
I bought a copy of Frozen secondhand, and I'm like, I'm going to watch this movie because everybody reckons it's really good and it's made lots of money. And I sat down and I watched it by myself, and I'm like, you know what? That was actually a pretty good movie.
Are you excited for the second one?
I'll watch it. I watched the trailer the other day, and I'm
excited.
like, that kind of teased me, as a teaser trailer should, Jake Baylis.
Ooh, a little tickle tickle.
Are you a Frozen guy? Or are you a Tangled guy? Or are you a Moana guy, like I am?
I am a Moana guy, because,
Oh! Hey! Moana! Come on! Give it up for my boy, hey!
The chicken?
Yeah, the chicken! The fucking chicken from...
Ugh, Brent. Such a basic bitch of a little, I don't know, comedy.
Yeah, he was
relief.
great.
What do you mean? Hey was the best. Seriously.
He was just comedic relief and it sucked.
No, that was the best thing. You need comedic relief.
I think I just broke my
Especially-
mic
Yeah, you
when
had
I slapped
Dwayne
it
The
with
Rock
table.
Johnson for that. He was the comedic relief and the sidekick.
God, the best thing about that was, he's such a perfect person, but it's so good that he can't sing. So it's good to have that little imperfection.
He can kind of sing a little bit.
A little bit, but he's
A
not
little bit.
fantastic.
He's no Mandy Moore.
No, but for a man that's 6'5", 320 pounds of absolute muscle and just a golden god, he needs to have one thing wrong with him. So I'm glad he can sing slightly bad.
You're welcome.
Oh, God, what a good song. And Shiny, how are those?
Shiny's pretty good. Jermaine Clement,
Clemens.
yeah.
God, it's so good for two really catchy songs. Do you still know the rap for You're Welcome? Or am I putting you on the spot?
You'll probably put me on the spot.
Okay, Jake knew a little bit of it before, but not now, which is fine.
What is it? The kid, I can go on and on. I could see every
Yeah,
natural
I could go on and
phenomenon.
on. I could Yeah, no, I can't bother. The tide.
That was Maui just messing around or whatever, however it goes. What about No One Knows? Yeah, How Far I'll Go.
Oh, how that was
What
so
do you mean
good
Let
how
It Go Part 2?
Yeah, pretty much.
Stop being so cynical.
No, I'm just posting that little thing. It's just like how far I'll go, let it go. It's just, it's very...
That they don't sound the same. They just rhyme when you say the two titles together.
I know it's not really fairy tale-y, but I really like Zootopia. I thought it was great.
Was that Disney? I thought that was... I don't
was
know
Disney.
any...
Just like Wreck-It Ralph was Disney. And Big Hero 6 was Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Based off a Marvel property. Yes, it was a comic book.
Oh.
Yes, it was a comic book.
I think I have the comic book.
It was
I bought it after I watched...
It was manga.
I think I bought it
We're here to
after-
celebrate Disney, not
Jeez.
rag on it.
Who was ragging on it, Jake?
This is actually your idea to do the Disney episode, Iona.
I know. Okay, you know what? I loved Tafiti, the villain in Moana. The big island
Oh,
lady.
the island
What a
goddess or
twist.
whatever.
How
Sorry.
good was that?
Yeah, it was actually
that was
really
amazing seeing that. You're like, oh! And like, I don't know, seeing a dad, like, and everybody became wayfarers again. Was that the word? Or sailors? I think they
Can't
were
remember.
wayfarers.
If you think about it a little bit, it's sort of like it's Maori. I can't even say the word.
Maori.
Maori
that's
slash
it.
Polynesian, yeah.
Like Dwayne the Rock Johnson's character, he's pretty much the bad guy in that because he's the reason why Tafiki, like, he stole her heart at the very start of the movie, and then she becomes this big evil sort of monster. So technically, he's the reason all this bad stuff happens. So he's the bad guy.
Disney movies aren't very kind of cut and dry now. They're a little more complicated.
Yeah, the shades
I mean-
of grey.
Yeah,
had
you know,
Duke
we don't
Weselton.
get obvious Disney
Yeah.
bad guy, Scar, Hades,
Yeah, like
the
Let
guy
It-
from Mulan.
And like Let It Go, you know, you got Duke Weselton, who was kind of the bad guy, but Elsa was as well, and stuff like that. It's very grey now.
Yeah,
Do you not remember Duke Weselton?
I
Do you want to know a fun
I
fact?
kind of do.
Fun fact!
Tell me
Okay,
fun fact.
The voice actor for Duke Weselton, who like every time they're like, "Oh, Duke Weaselton," he's like, "It's Weselton." He voiced the weasel in Zootopia,
Ah.
and like they were like Weselton. He's like, "It's Weaselton."
What about Rapunzel and that? They're in Frozen.
Yes, you can see them
You
walking
can see
in
them
for Elsa's
walking
coronation.
in the back of their heads. Yeah.
It's very quick. I missed it. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I've watched it again, but I can't pick it. I can't find it.
Pretty neat.
It's pretty cool.
Isn't there that fan theory that connects Tarzan and Frozen,
Yeah.
where Elsa and is it Anna?
Elsa and Anna's parents.
Anna, sorry.
When they
and-
went on the boat trip and it sunk, apparently what happened was that because of similarities between the parents of Elsa and Anna and the picture frame from Tarzan,
their
is
story,
that-
the parent story in
that
Tarzan.
the parents had lived there and that Tarzan was their son. But I think that's going to get dispelled because I think their parents might come back for Frozen too. There's a possibility, a
Shit
slight
house.
possibility.
They'll be like, remember that kid we had on the island as well? What happened to him?
Sucks for him.
300 years in the future or whatever it is.
Nah, his movie didn't make enough money. Let's go see the other kid.
I wonder when Frozen's based, because they have like Canadian loggers and shit in it. I can't remember.
It's so tough, is it even? You can't.
You can't make a fucking Disney timeline out of all this shit. Like,
Especially
why
when
would you
you've
do it
got
to yourself?
magic, would you even put it in a world where like
Tarzan's kind of magic.
Well, no, I'm just like saying in the fact that I don't think you should base Frozen on it being an Earth or a timeline on Earth. Just because it's got magic and like something like Brave too. Like, I mean, Brave is meant to be set in. Yes.
So I was just laughing.
Brave's a Pixar movie, though.
I was just laughing.
What?
Yeah, it's a Disney Pixar.
Yeah, she was. Well, I mean, Merida was.
I don't want to
in
argue with you, Iona.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Why do you try to antagonize me all the
Merida was in
time?
Wreck-It Ralph too. That makes her a Disney princess.
Oh, was she? Okay, fair enough. I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph 2 yet.
I could.
Ralph.
You still want me to name all the princesses?
Ralph wrecks the internet, which is what it should have been called.
Yeah,
Instead of breaks the internet.
yeah, but breaks this thing the kids say nowadays, isn't it?
Stupid
Where-
pop culture references. I hate it. That was like Shrek. I liked the first Shrek because it was pretty much straight up fairy tales, a little bit of satirical.
Let's not get started on.
And
Shrek.
then Shrek 2 was just like pop culture references everywhere.
You said I was instigating you to argue. You're instigating me, Brent. We can argue about Shrek.
Why do we have to Do I have to be like this?
Because Shrek was great. All four. I'll stand by it. I'll die on
Yeah,
the
you
hill.
did. You came up with the
Shrek 5!
concept for Shrek 5. That's right.
Oh man, Shrek 5 will be bomb once they steal my idea.
I had actually. That's a funny story.
Yeah, tell it.
Let's see. Movie pitches we did last year. I pitched a horror movie called Inheritance. I was surfing the internet as I do last week or the week before, and there's a movie coming out called Inheritance, which has a very similar plot. And I was like, hang on a minute. And I sent it to Russell, and he's like, that's your movie. And I'm like, it's just a very big coincidence. That's all it is.
So when they come out with Shrek 5, they'll know who to fucking talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't be like, hey, you stole my idea, but like, please hire me.
This girl over here. Can we
it's a
talk
great idea.
about, because I've got a couple more things I want to run past you guys. I want to do best villain, I want to do our top 5 Disney songs, and I want to do your most underrated Disney film. Which one do you want to do first?
All at once.
Let's do our underrated Disney film.
Yeah, I'm happy to bust that out.
Princess and the Frog for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was not, widely spread, but it's such a great movie, and you get a big glimpse into how... it was a realistic movie based on New Orleans. I mean, everybody loved it from New Orleans.
I want to watch this movie.
Oh, man, wait till you see the food. The food is bomb. Like, you're going to be hungry. You need to eat while you're watching it, okay? Okay, because I was like, oh, man, all of this looks so good.
Okay, I'm going to get food while I watch it.
Good idea.
Jake Baylis.
See, this one was a tough one for me. I had to add a few written down. Originally, I was going to go with Treasure Planet because that's a fantastic film, which I think should be definitely redone now, especially with all the CGI that we have. I feel
Disney live action.
Yeah, that would look amazing.
I watched it today because you put a post on Facebook about this last week.
Yeah, well,
and I knew we were doing the Disney show today, so I'm like, I'm going to watch Treasure Planet because I've never seen it. And I watched it today, and it was pretty good.
I'm just blanking on the main voice actor.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Really?
Did the voice of Jim Hawkins.
No wonder he sounded hot.
God.
We
There's
didn't
also
even get onto Kovu.
there's also I was gonna go with Fantasia because it's a great film, but a lot of people all they know it is from the Sorcerer's Apprentice scene with Mickey Mouse when he's doing all the cleaning.
Yeah, he puts the hat on and the brooms are dancing and cleaning and...
But there's so much more to that no one ever talks about it, no one seems to remember. But I will point out, thank you for that movie giving us the Sorcerer's Apprentice film with Nicolas Cage.
Which is actually a Disney film itself.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yes.
And so definitely check that out. But... I finally figured out what I wanted, and it was, drumroll please.
No. Brent, you're too giving.
A Goofy movie is the most underappreciated Disney film.
A Goofy movie was one we had on VHS, and we fucking watched the absolute shit out of that movie. I love it. The plot's fantastic. The characters are great. All the fucking hijinks and that, with Bigfoot and everything. The songs are fantastic. One of those songs are actually in my top 5. I won't tell you which one.
And it's really emotional as well. Just like when Goofy and his son Max is sitting there in the car, and this is just after Bigfoot's locked them in there, and he's dancing to the Bee Gees, and he Goofy makes Max a cup of soup, of alphabet soup, and it's just got his he gives it to his son, and his son eats it in the end, but he leaves a couple of little letters in there and says, I love you, in the end, and Goofy's like, oh,
I can't remember what the song is, but where the car ends up in the river and they're riding on top of the car, they sing a song there, which is actually pretty touching, like a father-son kind of type song. I can't fucking remember what it is. I've got it out there on DVD. I should watch it. But yes, I fucking love a Goofy movie. I think it is kind of underrated. When people think of Disney movies, it's kind of not a movie. It's always Aladdin or Mulan or other, legit Disney movies. But this is this is one of the best Disney movies of the 90s. Put this in the fucking Disney Renaissance, even though it's kind of based off... Did the TV show come first? I think the TV show came after this.
Yes, the TV show came after this. And it's sort of the way I look at it now, it has definitely changed since when I watched it as a kid. Because when I was obviously first watching it, I sort of look at it as Max's point of view and just oh, Goofy, what are you doing? Just let him be. He just wants to be a kid sort of thing. But now, as an adult, I'm like, oh, Max, spend time with your father. He's just trying to...
Yeah, your dad's just trying to connect with you.
Yeah. Just thinking of goofy, and when you talked about the TV show, when did Mickey Mouse, the Clubhouse one with all the Disney characters, come out?
Mickey
you
Mouse.
remember
Is that only kind of new? That's like the last 10 years?
No, it would have been
no?
before that.
Yeah, it would have been maybe the early 2000s because I remember it being around the same time as like sort of Saturday morning Disney.
Yeah, I think
So,
it came out with that.
Yeah,
It would have been
it was like the
that.
Mickey Mouse Club where they just have Mickey had his own
Restaurant.
which had all the villains from all the other Disney and like characters and stuff, and then they just show like 10-15 minute little skits.
Okay.
Yeah. You never seen it?
I kind of remember that. I don't think I've ever really seen it, maybe a little bit in passing. But yeah, that's not one I really watched.
It was
I don't
good.
think.
They had like a Halloween episode and stuff like that.
They have one where the villains take over the entire place.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
pretty cool.
Yeah.
My most underrated Disney movie was going to be Treasure Planet. But then I had to think about it this afternoon after I watched it. And honestly, I think my most underrated, even though it's still pretty rated, but it should be more rated than it is The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Ah,
Ooh.
good
It's
one.
probably, you know, it's kind of like the first Disney movie that, you know, all Disney films are kind of accessible to adults. You know, adults can enjoy them. They're not, you know, too kid friendly, you know. But The Hunchback of Notre Dame was kind of like the first Disney Renaissance film that was, you know, it was aimed more toward adults because it was very adult and it had more adult themes and it was a lot darker.
Oh yeah, genocide. What's one for the kids?
Yeah, yeah. So I think a lot of people do remember Hunchback, but it doesn't get as much praise as it actually should. I think it will one day, but yeah, it doesn't get as much praise as it should.
But don't even talk about the sequel. Oh boy.
No, I never watched it. I've got it out
Yikes.
there on DVD just because I needed to
Don't
buy it
you
to get the
hate
first one.
The quality of sequel movies, all of them go terrible.
Because it's pretty much, because a lot of the sequel films like Aladdin 3 and a lot of these other ones, they were pretty much like the TV department, the department that do the animated series. They're pretty much just extended episodes, you know, they're just hour and a half episodes, you know. Here, TV department, do this while we go and do Mulan, you know. Work on the Aladdin TV thing while we go work on the Lion King or whatever. Speaking of the Lion King, there was a new Lion King TV show in the last couple of years.
That sucked. It completely got rid of Simba and Nala's daughter and made it a son instead for the TV show.
Okay, I don't want to know anything about that then. Thank you for telling me, Iona.
You're
Let's just
welcome.
forget.
They erased her. What was her name?
I don't.
I only remember Kovu's name.
Yeah, Kovu was pretty boss.
Yeah, I had a crush on a animated lion.
Yeah, I know. You brought that up in a previous episode.
Reference.
Let's do our top 5 favorite Disney songs. We've been here a little while. Jake, could you just nick over there and turn that light on, please, mate? Because it's getting a bit dark in here. Ah, now I can see you in the light of day, Iona.
You're welcome.
What can I say except you're welcome? Iona, I'm going to let you go first, because you're just sitting there, like, ragging on shit and talking about how The Princess and the Frog is actually really good. So I want to... How many songs have you got? Do you have 5 or 3?
I've got 3.
Or are you
I
just
could
gonna
make
wing it?
5.
You're
I
gonna
could make... I don't wing things. I just bring them up from memory.
Okay. Look, so we're going to go your
Yeah, we
least
doing
favourite to
songs?
your most favourite, even though they're all good. So start at number 5.
Okay, I don't know the titles of all of them.
Okay.
Make a Man Out of You is number 5. You know that song,
from
right, Jake?
Tarzan?
No, from Milan.
Oh, I haven't seen Mulan,
I
sorry.
can go the distance.
Oh, sorry, that is
To
Mulan.
defeat
The
the
Huns.
Hun.
Oh, so it was Attila the Hun in the movie. That solved everything.
Was it Attila the Hun?
It wasn't Attila.
Yeah, it wasn't Attila the Hun.
Yeah,
Just
but
the
it was the
Hun.
It was
Huns.
Attila the Hun inspired, maybe.
Mm.
Okay.
And now I can see the light from Rapunzel. You know, when
Okay.
she finally gets to see the lanterns. Wasn't that a beautiful song? Oh no, maybe, I don't know. Maybe 4 is split between that one and her Daily Chore song.
Yeah, that was
7
pretty
a.m.
good.
That was good.
Jake Baylis, what's your number 5 and number 4?
We are going with, for number 5, Stand Out from a Goofy movie.
Stand out ooh, above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out a lot. You know how it goes. Iona's looking at me. Real funny.
I don't know. the
Power
song.
line.
Yeah, exactly. Great song, really energetic, adds a lot to the movie. And my number 4, is "Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan.
Oh, did I not know the title?
Oh wow,
But
nice
I-
work, guys. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm the only one who hasn't seen Mulan. I feel real bad.
You're gonna regret it.
I'm gonna watch it when you guys leave.
Oh, okay.
We'll go now.
Sure.
My number 5 song is "You're Welcome" from Moana.
It's good.
That is good.
You're welcome. And my number 4 is "Eye to Eye" from a Goofy movie.
Oh,
right at the very end, where they finally make it to the Powerline concert because Max said he's going to be on stage because his dad knows Powerline and he's trying to impress Roxanne. And then he gets on stage and, you know, it's kind of like Michael Jackson crossed Prince, kind of. And
For
it's
ages,
like,
I thought it was actually Michael Jackson until I looked it up. I was like, it's not, but he sounds pretty much identical. Like,
but it's a really good song,
yeah,
Eye
really
to
good
Eye.
song. Oh yeah,
You know, if we listen to each other,
it's a real
maybe
90s.
love is the reason why.
I'll show you to it later.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It's really good, actually. Yeah, that's my number 4. What's your number 3?
Okay,
Iona,
so-
Colville.
I'm taking out the 7 a.m. Chore song. Number 3 is "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" Just so I was going back.
Are you doing the movie version or the Elton John version? I think the movie version's
version.
better.
Yeah,
The
movie
Can
version.
you feel the love tonight?
It just hits me in all the spots, all the right spots.
And where they're kind of chasing each other around the waterfall. I only watched it last night, so I'm very...
Do you remember
Very
what the
fresh.
song was from the second Lion King with Kovu and Simba's daughter? What their song was? Because that was really good too. Their love song.
I don't know,
But you
but
know what
while
I'm talking
Jake's
about?
talking about his next one, I'm just going to look it up real
Google
quick.
it, please, because I think it was a really good one too. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is just a simple classic. We're gonna go with "Never Had a Friend Like Me" from Aladdin.
Oh,
nice, yeah.
Very nice.
You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend.
Yeah, it's a big first introduction to the genie. It's good. It's
Yeah.
poppy. Plus, it's Robin Williams. How
Such
could
a
you not
smart
like-
idea.
I actually really like Prince Ali. That's not
Oh.
on my list.
Yeah,
but
that was the
Prince Ali's really good.
You're trying to debate
Especially
which one.
the beginning, you know, you got all the guys coming in. It's like, make way for Prince Ali. You know, that's good.
And they got the belly drums.
Not one of us.
In the way.
Is that it?
Not one of us. Is that what it is?
It's the one where they're together and they go down a waterfall and there's lots of pink flamingos. So I said flamingos with the LDL. I think I did.
Deception, disgrace, evil is plain as the scar on his face.
Did you just look up the one where it's like where Kovu and Simba's daughter fuck? Can you just do
What?
that? It's exactly the same as the
Okay,
first
sorry.
one.
My number 3 song is "A Whole New World" from Aladdin.
New
Nice.
fantastic point of view.
It's actually a really good song.
Oh, isn't it?
And how good. The best thing, another tangent about that live action Aladdin trailer, is when Aladdin's rubbing the lamp and the genie smoke swirling and the camera pulls out, you can see Carpet standing in the corner. He's kind of got like his dangly tassels.
Aw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that carpet looks CG legit.
I'm just gonna, before we jump on to like the number 2, just quickly, just for my own curiosity, did you ever play the Aladdin Super Nintendo video game?
I have the Mega Drive version and I have the Lion King as well, and they are seriously probably 2 of the best games I've ever played.
I'm
on
really
Mega
glad
Drive.
you brought that up because there was a game for Game Boy, the little square ones. Of course you do. For Disney princesses,
Mhm.
and that was my first game on Game Boy at about like 6 years old. I had a little silver Game Boy, and it was Disney princesses. It was great.
It was probably a Game Boy Pocket or a Game Boy Color.
No,
'cause
it
she's
was
so
like
on.
one of the
Yeah,
little
she's-
flip square ones.
Oh, Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
God, she had.
She never
I
had a
never-
Game Boy.
I remember when Game Boy Color came out and was just like, oh my god, now you can see Bulbasaur was actually green.
And I got like a Game Boy Pocket. I'm like, this is so small.
Sorry, I'm not old.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's our fault.
What's your number 2?
Number 2, Shiny.
Yeah, Shiny's really
Oh
good.
God, Jermaine
I
Clement
like
is
Shiny.
amazing.
Yeah, Jermaine Clement's fucking awesome. Flight
He's
the
a
Conchords.
beautiful voice. Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
Of course I have.
Okay.
Numerous times. Are you going to watch the TV series?
Did you see Wellington Paranormal?
No, I haven't watched it. I'm going to watch it on
It's on
iView. Is it on?
SBS.
Is it on? Oh, it's on
SBS
SBS.
on demand.
On
It's
demand.
great.
Not ABC iView.
Yeah, but Shiny. I just want to be shiny. Oh God, and the colors and like the neon.
He's got like all the gems and shit in his teeth. Yeah, it's very cool.
It's what's that bit? I don't know. I can't remember as it goes down. It's like dun dun dun. I don't know. I don't know. It was a great song.
Jake Baylis, number 2.
Something a little bit different, going a little bit dark here. We're going to go with Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's dark, it's gothic, it's got the sort of like the Gregorian sort of chants, the bells in it, just singing about Esmeralda. It's a good song.
That is a fucking awesome song. My number 2 is Be Prepared from The Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
Scar. I'm going to say my number 1, but my number 1 song is Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It is. My girlfriend and I were watching it last year, and it was about to start, and I was like, this is my favorite Disney song. And then she watched it and it ended, and she's like, why is that your favorite? It's so intense.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's fucking...
It's boss.
I'm going to talk about my favorite villain as well, but Judge Claude Frollo is my favorite villain from Hunchback of Notre Dame as well, because he's such a human character, and he's so flawed. Like, the Hellfire starts, it's Beata Maria, you know I am a righteous man, of my virtue I am justly proud, Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. And then he goes on, because he opens up the song singing about how pure he believes he is. And then...
He gets so hypocritical.
He's such a hypocrite because he's lusting after this gypsy. He pretty much just wants to get down with the nasty with Esmeralda. But, like, through the course of, like, this 3.5, 4 minute song, like... He blames everyone but himself. Like, he can't admit to himself that he's singing because he believes he's so pure and he's, you know, of his virtue, he is justly proud. You know, he blames everyone. He blames God. He blames Esmeralda. You know, she's a witch. She cast a spell on me. You know, it's such a good fucking song. It is fantastic. I want it as the ringtone on my phone now.
That's cool.
My phone rings. It's like, Hellfire.
Oh, dark fire.
Oh, that's such a good song. We should sing that at the end, Jake. Iona, what's your number 2 and
I
number
already said
1?
my number 2, didn't
Oh,
I?
sorry. What's your number 1 then?
Did I say my number 2?
It was Shiny.
Oh, that's right. I'm losing it. My number 1 is difficult to say because I think it's actually Under the Sea, The Little Mermaid.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.
Yeah,
Best line.
I don't know, it's a very weak number 1, but it's something that I always remember and has such a cheery tone.
It's a very upbeat song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good song. Jake? You
You
get the last one, mate. What's your number 1?
Numero uno, it has to be I Can Go the Distance from the Hercules.
Oh,
like
fuck.
not only like the movie version, but also the Michael Bolton, like four
Yeah,
and a half
yeah.
minute power ballad where he's just like belting it out. Oh man, if that like doesn't get you like, oh, I'm gonna start my day off right and I can do this sort of thing, I don't know what's wrong with your life because song is awesome.
I can face the world, feel as proud and strong. That's the kind of the Disney I want songs, you know, like Hunchback of Notre Dame, Out There. That's quite a good song on that as well. I actually really like the Broadway actor in that. I watched a clip about and listening to him sing it. They're recording the album for the Broadway show, and I was like, this guy's way better than the dude that was in the movie. I was like, this is legit. Yeah, that's a great song. Hercules doesn't really get a lot of, you know, it's kind of one of the more little, you know, people like it, but it's kind of a little more overlooked of the kind of the 90s bunch.
What's the one that the Fates sing?
The Gospel Truth.
Yeah, the Gospel Truth, yeah.
That's a good one.
I call him Hercules or whatever.
See, I don't know what it is. It might have been like the characters aren't exactly like they're not. I know it's a Disney film, but they're not exactly that complex. It's just sort of like Hades wants to rule, Hercules wants to become a hero, sort of thing. Phil wants to train him. It's very simple. It's very enjoyable. The songs are good, but there's nothing really to like emotionally invest yourself into like some of the other Disney films and stuff. Because like you look at Pocahontas and stuff, and you're talking wars and this love and stuff, but in Hercules,
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Hercules is just sort of just, you know, I want to be a hero, and there's chemistry between the lead, obviously Hercules and Meg stuff, but yeah,
it's not as easy as some of the other romances and that because Meg's such a sassy, powerful woman. You know, it's kind of she kind of pushes against Hercules for most of the film. Like it's not till right at the end. They actually like do the Disney fall in
Good
love.
on her, I say.
Yeah, see, people back then weren't ready for the sassy woman. That's why
Yeah,
it did
get
so
it.
unwell. They weren't ready. They're like, nah, we'd like them. She doesn't fix a dress. Nah, it's not my kind of Disney princess.
What about where Hercules fights the Hydra or whatever it is?
Oh, and it keeps cutting off its head and keeps growing back.
That's fucking sick.
That CGI did look really cool.
That's fucking good.
And how cool is... And Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Oh,
Fuck, man,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, and
James Woods as Hades.
James
yeah.
Woods.
Jinx.
Yeah. You owe me a Coke.
Ugh, there's beer in the fridge.
I'm not... We've discussed this. We don't want to lose those 15.
We'll do best villain. Like I said, my favorite villain is Judge Claude Frollo. He kills Quasimodo's mum at the start of the fucking movie at the front of the... He pretty much like tramples her with his horse or whatever. And then he goes to drop the baby in the well. And then it's only because the Archbishop or whatever comes out and stops him and he's like, to repent, he's like, I'll take this
I'm
baby.
just baptizing this baby in the
He's
well.
like, I'll raise him. And it's like,
very
he's holding
first
him by...
baptized.
Yeah.
And that's how we have baptisms now.
And
You
it's...
don't need
Yeah,
vaccinations
it's
when you got baptism.
It's fucked because the guy's just he's so flawed. He's so human. You know, he's very high up in the I guess the religious order or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
And he considers himself very pure, very virtuous, and that. But he can't admit to himself that he is a sinner and he is lusting after this gypsy woman. So yeah, I quite like that for how human and complex he is. But Scar as well. Scar's just great. Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, see, like, I feel like Scar would be sort of like the easy answers to go with because he's, like, again, like a real complex sort of villain, has a lot of, like, cool songs. But for me, Hades, like, James Woods, awesome voice, he's got fire hair.
And he slicks it back.
He tries to kill a baby at the very start of it, pretty
What
much.
is it with Disney and killing babies?
Don't be born. Is
And
pretty
mums.
much-
Anti-vaccination propaganda.
Are you
Whoa.
Are you a woman or a baby? Then best of luck in a Disney
Don't waltz
film.
into this Disney movie.
Yeah, do
because
not.
you're not going to have a fun time.
Yeah, he's not too like overly complex. He's pretty much simple, but he's just fun to listen to.
Yeah,
Like,
he sure is. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I think that's why he's my favorite.
And he's definitely one of the more fun, and he doesn't feel too threatening at the same time. But yeah, he's a very cool character. Iona, do you
The
have a favorite
hunter
villain?
from Bambi.
Oh,
Just kidding. No, it's actually Mother Gothel or / Ursula. 'Cause
yeah, Ursula's pretty
Ursula
boss.
was a
Yeah,
conniving, smart.
octopus
boss woman.
lady.
She was a girl boss, well before her time, and everybody hated on her.
Hmm.
Not right, but yeah, I liked Mother Gothel as well, but that's just because I could relate. So, it's that one bit in the mirror where she's like, I see a young, smart, and beautiful woman. And oh look, you're here too. That is a killer line. But actually, Ursula's really cool. I mean, she like grows huge during the wedding and like smashes down. Was it during the wedding or before?
Is that right at the end?
Yeah, it's right at the end.
And
where
she's
she's
got
like,
Poseidon's trident
yeah,
as
she
well.
becomes huge with Poseidon's trident.
And
She's
then
like smashing with her
fucking
tentacles.
stabs her with the ship. And shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
How good did she? She had a good boss fight.
That's a pretty good boss fight, yeah. That's pretty much all my categories, but I just want to ask you one of these real quick. Who do you think is like one of the best voice acted characters in a Disney film? Because I think, you probably say like Robin Williams is fantastic as the genie in Aladdin, but I think like as a really underrated pick, I think Demi Moore as Esmeralda in Hunchback of Notre Dame is really fucking good.
Demi Moore. I don't know anything. That surprised me.
Okay. You sound like a Mandy Moore person over here.
I was
Rapunzel.
gonna say Mandy Moore. I was like, Mandy Moore voiced Esmeralda. I was like, no, wait, that's a different first name. Oops. But I don't know. I think she just suited the character.
Yeah, like
they made
there was no greater union of human voice actor personality with a character.
I think they made Rapunzel with Mandy Moore in mind.
Probably, yeah.
It fit so well. They slightly looked alike. It was great.
And then they both sung the song at the Oscars. They both came out and they
did
sung
they?
the song at the Oscars.
Did you want to know another fun fact? Fun fact! Kristen Bell was pregnant during Let It Go. She voices Anna.
Yeah.
So her voice was actually a different frequency and sound compared to what she is normally not pregnant. So, like, in the second movie, she's going to sound different.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. She's great in The Good Place. That's a great show.
Oh, isn't it just?
That's a great show. I love that show. Jake, you're very deep in thought over there. What do you think?
Well, I had to just go through it and basically, like, it again, sorry, simple answer, but, like, you can't go past Robin Williams. He's, he's the first one that pops into my head, and for good reason. Because I don't, like, you think of Genie, no offense, because Will Smith is going to be playing him soon, but there's no one. I can't imagine, like, another voice being on that character and it being as entertaining or just, like, Robin Williams is pretty much the Genie. Like,
yeah, he is, yeah.
And take it with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure they had Robin Williams in mind for the Genie as well, to begin with. But then again, I think that may be false because they made him do a test run, and that's what they used for the starting scene with the cellar. That was him doing ad-lib mucking around.
Oh, yeah,
the Dead Sea Tupperware.
Yeah, so maybe it wasn't like he did have to audition instead of they having him in mind. But I feel like they did. I mean, don't you usually do animation first and then the voice acting?
No, you do the voice first and then the animation after.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or if you know what the lines are going to be, you do them concurrently. But now it's pretty much, do the voice bit first and then come back in 6 months and do another couple of hours and then come back in 6 months.
So then thinking about the cave scene where they had Jack Nicholson's impression and Robert De Niro, who's the best impressionist during that time? It was Robin Williams, right?
But that would have just been him ad-libbing as well. Just letting him just running off, and they're like, this is great, we're going to use all this. Okay. So I imagine, that's like I said before, how long would that, was that movie delayed at all because of, all this extra stuff they got from Bob
this, and he's, talking about, he's got 7 different arms.
We're already working on that scene. Well, now we've got to change it because he did this bit with Jack Nicholson. Now we're going to add this Jack Nicholson, these 10 seconds of Jack Nicholson stuff.
I remembered Simba's daughter's name is Kiara, just by the way. So
and I'd probably give an honourable mention to James Earl Jones as Mufasa, because there's another great, perfect fitting of voice actor
and
presence to character.
And thank fuck he's back for the live remake.
Yeah, for him to die all over again in live action.
Fuck. Break my heart,
My
Disney.
heart, my soul.
Don't worry, Jake, your heart will go on.
Oh.
Let's wrap it up. Disney's great. I really enjoy Disney movies. I'm going to have a Disney binge over the weekend.
Anyone who didn't watch Disney movies as a child is a psychopath.
I'm going to watch Tangled again, because I haven't watched that in a couple of years, so I'm going to watch it again.
Good idea.
It's pretty good. And I got to watch Princess and the Frog and Mulan.
Check out the Tangled
and
TV
101
series.
Dalmatians.
And check out the DuckTales.
And Bambi!
DuckTales show. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. It's in Duckburg.
I know.
Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales.
I've never heard it.
You meant to do the... When I say DuckTales, you meant to go, woo!
Okay, sorry.
You've ruined it now. Jake, DuckTales.
Ooh.
There you go. Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Ooh. So there you go. That's pretty good. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week on the Bearded Geeks.
Bye.
I'm sweaty.
Knees weak, arms are heavy. His dog's on the sweater.
Mom, spaghetti. 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 Spaghetti.